Okay, guys. So thank you for coming. I think the invite went everywhere, but we see less enthusiasm today for some reason. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's begin. Okay. So guys, today's workshop is about building your own AI agents, but using CrewAI. So now this is all about CrewAI that I would be discussing today. So what is a CrewAI? So as the name suggests itself, the CrewAI, it has a crew of agents into it. So it's not a single agent, it's the multiple agent which are working together in in a in either in a sequence way or in a hierarchical way, and there are various ways to communicate in which they are communicating together, and the entire agent system it is able to deliver a particular outcome to the task. Now in this here in front of me, you see here that there is a crew which is sitting, and the agent one is market research analyst, then agent two is technology expert, and agent three is business consultant. Now all these three agents, they are together responsible for a particular task. Now if you remember, in the last workshop that we did, I talked about only a single agent. So we talked about a single agent, and today we would be talking about how to build multiple agents and how to orchestrate them to deliver a particular goal. Now, for example, let us quickly, first of all, review how we created a single agent, and then I will talk about how can we create a crew of agents that will collaborate together to complete a complex task. Now, here, let me quickly review for what we did in the last class, if you remember. So in the last workshop, what we did was, first of all, we created agents, and okay, we created a single agent. What that single agent was doing, the single agent basically it used LLM to understand, plan, and act. Okay. Now, what is an agent and how it uses LLM? We talked in detail about that. Basically, an agent can understand the instructions, it can make decisions, it can interact with the tools, and it can learn from the feedback. And we can use any LLM at the core to derive all these functions. So basically, LLM, if it's able to either understand instructions, make decisions, and learn from feedbacks, and most importantly, it can interact with the tools, it is your agent. Now, we talked about in the last classes that AI agent, it consists of, as you see here, all these different components. So an AI agent, it is the brain of the AI agent was LLM. Then we needed memory to store, all the reasoning locally. We can either use RAM. We can also, if it's a larger task, we can use vector DB. Then we used a prompt template. And the prompt template, that is how we want it to behave. The particular instructions are given, and then we have the tools. So all these things, that means overall, an AI agent needs tools, it needs LLM, it needs memory, and it has a prompt template. And together it forms a complete agent. If we break more in detail, every agent has a persona. Remember, I think I would advise also to just go quickly on the recording if you don't understand. But here's a very brief overview that how to create multiple agents. But before that, we will learn how to create a single agent. A single agent will have a persona. Then we will give it a chain of thought. Then chain of thought will help the LLM to reason in a particular way that we want. And the reasoning, if with the reasoning, it can use tools, then it will be a React. And then the tools are kind of the hands that we provide to the agent so that it can actually do the job. Now, if we remember, I will very quickly touch through the base that last time the persona was like here we talked about an agent that we created the marketing specialist. And with the marketing specialist, we give it a different persona. We give it the empathy. We told that, okay, your personality should have empathy. Your personality should have problem solving. Your personality should have ethical integrity. And the skills that you have is you should be able to, interact with customers, market search, and creativity. So this was the entire persona that we gave to the agent. This is the top thing that we give. That who are you? Define me your identity. Okay. Now, after you have defined your identity, now other example is chain of thought. So what does chain of thought does? Chain of thought, it forces LLM to behave in a particular way. Now, see, for example, here, I'll just get rid of this thing. Okay. Somehow, guys, I got disconnected. Okay. Yeah. So chain of thought, for example, we talked about if we give a standard prompting, in the standard prompting, we simply tell that Roger has a 5 tennis ball. He buys 2 more cans of tennis ball. And your LLM, it directly gives you the answer is 11. But in the chain of thought prompting, it gives you the answer is that Roger has 5 tennis ball. He buys 2 more cans of tennis ball. Each can has 3 tennis ball. We give him the ability to reason. So now Roger started with 5 balls, 2 cans of 3 tennis ball. Each is 6 tennis ball. That is 5 plus 6 is equals to 11. The answer is 11. So in the chain of thought prompting, we tell that to solve any problem, a LLM should be able to reason itself. So we give a task and then we want LLM to reason itself and then we have a output. So this was a chain of thought prompting. And after that was something that I introduced was a React. So I said that in the React prompting, what happens is we give the chat LLM, we give chat GPT or a LLM or whatever you are, you use either, you're using Claude AI, you're using it through Grok or whatever is your base LLM. We give it the ability to reason that I told that, okay, with every task, you have to break down into small steps and you have to provide me the reason. Now, if during the breaking of the step, a particular action is required, such as go to the internet, use the calculator, and whatever action it is there, it is all covered under a React prompt. So here it was an example. If your system uses React versus COT, in the React one, if it was a travel agent and we wanted it to plan a weekend trip. So React, what will be the reasoning processes? It will identify destinations and it will also use APIs. Whereas in chain of thought, what will happen, guys? There is no API attached. It will only gather information on the data on which it was trained. and it won't perform any actions. And this is valid for all the other steps. So this was just a quick example I'm giving you and a quick reminder about what we did last time so that we know how did we make one agent. And after that, we know how did we make one agent. Then we know how to make multiple agents. Now, what are the actions? So actions are the tools. Now, what are the tools here? Now, in the tools, we can use anything. We can use here, as I told you, Google search to get you the information about the weather, calculator, and you can have your own APIs, and you can even give it a tool to go and search on VectorDB, or you can give any kind of action that you want to do or that you are doing. Okay, so this was the overview. And overall, to create a single agent, we required persona, CO2, React, and action. This together forms our single agent. Okay, and this is how it looked to us. This is how it looked to us when we have it here on the screen. This looked to us like this. We have a placeholder for persona. This is in the Python. So you give here the role, you define the role. Here you give it the tools. You talk that which tools do we need. Then we talked about how do we give a React prompting. That means you have the question, then there's a thought, then there is an action, and then we pause. And it is the same thing. We have a thought, action, and then it will pause. So when the combination of a thought and action takes place, it is React. And here is a chain of thought. That means the user query is responded in this way. So this was the guys last time we did. I was just trying to tell you how do you create one agent before we go to multiple agent. Now, if you looked at this code last time, the agent class, which was a single class that we created without any framework, neither we used LangChain, neither we used, LangGraphs, LangChain, or CrewAI, or AutoGen. We didn't use any. What we used was basic classic Python, and we wrote the function ourselves. And to have the class agent, we needed, a LLM, that was the brain, system prompt, that tell how you will behave, how will you reason. And then we gave it a tools, and we created all the tools here separately. And we created all the tools, we created a tool for the currency converter. We created a tool for DuckDuckGo search, and we created a tool for here also for, calculator. And we created it, we wrote the function ourselves. Now, not today. Today's everything is very much automated. And then we created these things, and then we told to do 20 iterations. And then the entire system ran. We had this entire, system running, and we call it here as the, finally, we ran it. And once we ran it, we had your agent that is done. Now, let us see what are we doing today. Okay, guys. So today I will just, okay, it's good. This was just an overview. Yeah. But I want to see who all have joined me. And thank you for joining here. This is very encouraging. Okay. I want to have it on. Okay. This is very good. Okay. So now let me quickly share about CrewAI. Give me a second, guys. I think I somehow need to get out of here. Give me a second. Okay, yes, I'm back. Okay. So guys, now today we are not creating a single system. We are creating a crew of agents. And how does this multi-agent system works? So let us see here. So in the multi-agent system, what is happening? So guys, a multi-agent framework, as the word itself says, that it consists of not a single agent, it consists of multiple agent. That means to each agent, you have to provide all those things that I discussed. You have to provide the persona, you have to provide the tools, you have to provide the chain of thoughts, you have to provide the react. But everything, if you have 10 agents working together, then it's a very complicated way. And it's a very complicated design that we imagine. However, there are frameworks, as I said, CrewAI. We also had recently the release of Swarm. Then there is something in the media that Microsoft is building something which is more towards building a crew. So we have tools today, and basically these are Python libraries which are automated for you, and they do the job. Now, let us see in the CrewAI. So basically, it's a multi-agent system that emphasizes the collaboration among AI agents. Each agent has a distinct role. I think I already went through this, that here we have a market research analyst, we have a technology expert, then we have the business consultant. They are in this chart working sequentially to get a task done. Now, each agent has only a specified task or a specified role. Here you see, with their labels, that they only do their job. So, but they do a job in a way that technology expert takes the information from market research analyst and then produces the outcome. And here business consultant, it waits from market research analyst to give information to technology expert, and the technology expert gives information to business consultant. And all these, they communicate and delegate tasks to each other, right? Okay. Why do we need a CrewAI? We need a CrewAI because if a system is very complex, we need to give this task to multiple people. It's like running a company. You cannot do everything on your own. You need to have different people. As in a company, we have people starting from, HR to a mid-level manager to the top level manager. And you can say in the hospital, you have a nurse, then you have a primary physician, then you have a specialist. And that is how the idea is the same, that we try to create, a company which consists of employees, or here we try to create a crew or a group of agents together running a big system as of a hospital, lawyer, education system, and whatnot. So this is how that is how the idea is behind everything. So here each agent is given a particular role, as we talked about, and each agent is able to make decisions based on the given context and available tools. And then there is a seamless collaboration, as I told you, that happens. I would talk more in detail about how the collaboration occurs. Okay. Guys, so this is the famous diagram that comes from CrewAI. And I can get into the detail of it, but here basically entire CrewAI platform is divided into three main things. One is that we have to define the agents. Then each agent has a particular task that we have to define. And then there is a tools that are associated to each agent. And these are the three main components that we have to define in crew agent. That means each agent has these three components, and then we have to together run this crew. Now let us go and try to understand the system step by step. Okay, first of all, how to get started with the system? You can, it requires anything between Python 3.10 to 3.13. What you are doing is you're simply installing CrewAI, and you can, if you are not using your tools, so there are a lot of tools that are already created within the CrewAI. So you say pip install CrewAI tools. Right. Now, as I said, what are the four components of the CrewAI? The four components of the CrewAI are agents, tasks, process, and the overall crew. And now let's get into the detail. How do they work? Okay. So guys, in the code, you have to define the agent, and the agent has all these, attribute that you have to define. And then there are two things, LLM and tools are optional. So let us see here, you have agent, and agent is here any agent that you can define. I have in the next slide better example. So basically within the agent class, you are just, asking him to perform tasks and make decisions. And here you will give an agent a role simply. Okay. What is the input, or, what is the goal here? So agent has a role, it has a goal, and it has a backstory. And then you have verbose true. It is a number that tells you in how much detail you want to see the output. So now just see here. Today, in front of you, I'm creating one AI-assisted healthcare workflow. So what does AI-assisted healthcare workflow does? First of all, it will analyze, what we want is, we want two people working for my healthcare. One agent basically is a medical diagnostician. Other agent is a treatment advisor. So one agent, it is trained on how to say a lot of data, especially the medical data. So if you give him any symptom, it will analyze the symptom. It will use its medical knowledge, and it will provide diagnosis. Whereas the treatment advisor will use the diagnosis that is coming from agent one, who was your diagnostician, and then it uses this diagnosis. It recommends treatment and provides a care plan. So this is the entire AI-assisted healthcare workflow that we are creating today. So as an input to the user, and I will just share the code, within few slides. Now within the system, what you want from the user is just provide me, what symptoms you had. So for example, here the user said, I have a body ache and I have a cough. And the medical history is that you have a COVID. Okay, these are the two symptoms. So it could be, there's a woman who said, I have a urinary tract infection. So medical history will be urinary tract infection, and symptom will be, a stomach pain, or, or there is a burning in the urination. So this is the things that we want user to provide. And then after they provide this thing, we have already two agents that we are created. So as I told you, each agent has a role, a goal, and a backstory. And we also give it a tool. So remember the single agent that I created, it has a persona, which is here. What are you? Who are you? You tell it here. Now, we are giving a precise goal, and the idea is that we can tell that, this is what you have to do. It is a similar thing we have in the persona. but it's more in the CrewAI, they break it into more, how to say, into more easier or more digestible kind of small chunks, the entire thing. So they say role is medical diagnostician, goal is analyze patient symptom and medical history to provide a preliminary diagnosis. So this diagnostician, it will analyze the patient symptom and medical history, and it will provide diagnosis based on the medical knowledge that it was trained. And what is the backstory? That backstory is that this agent, it is very specialized in diagnosing medical condition using medical knowledge. So it has already been trained, that is the backstory. And then, yes, we want details when we have a true that, we want details, how does this perform? And then we say allow delegation. It means that, do you want to delegate these tasks to someone? We say no. So this is all is here in the persona, guys. Remember the persona I talked about? And now to this agent, we give tools, and our tools are search tool and the scrape tool, because we want it, to be able to either, if it doesn't find the answer in his own knowledge, we want it to go on, internet, Wikipedia, and go and find out the information. Maybe there is some symptom he wasn't trained on. For example, there a COVID happened and there is a new virus that erupted 2 months ago. Maybe it is not trained on that. And then we are giving it a reasoning. And in the reasoning, we talk about here chain of thoughts and react prompting that do it in the same way. So guys, remember how did we created the AI agent? We had the persona, we gave it, tools, and we gave it the reasoning. And this is the template, and it is a very rigid template that you don't have much room, to play. So if you go on their website, this is how you can find, and this is, I took it from their website. So here you have each agent has, role, goal, and backstory. These are the must attribute that you have to provide. You can provide, LLM and tools, because this is actually are defined previously, and sometimes you don't need to give it the tools. You just want it to work it from its previous knowledge. So this is how is the CrewAI is working. Now, similarly, okay, now you can think, I have created a diagnostician, somebody who will just from his knowledge, will tell me what is the problem. Now, this knowledge, that is what is the problem, it goes to the second agent, which is the treatment advisor. Now, what does the treatment advisor do? So treatment advisor, now you can literally, here play with, your way, how you want the output to be. Now here the treatment advisor, okay, role we know is a treatment advisor, okay. Now what the goal we want? We want it to recommend step-by-step treatment plan. That means, okay, this guy has a COVID, so please provide me a detailed step-by-step treatment plan based on the diagnosis, okay? And we want that you can use the search and the scrape tool, okay? Very good. And we can add more, maybe, just provide me everything in the table form, or provide me everything, in a prescription form, and, whatever we want. Or, provide me maybe, options that I want this medicine or I don't want this medicine. Or provide me the option based on the weather, that, in summers, maybe, I prefer certain treatments that I don't want in winters. So something like that. So what is the backstory with this agent? Okay. This agent specialized in personalized treatment plans, and it uses algorithms and best practices. So definitely it has been trained on a lot of medical data, and we want it to use internet to offer precise recommendations. including medication and lifestyle changes. So this is the persona that we are giving it. And here we are giving it the tools, which are already, right now, these tools are from the CrewAI itself. And then we are also giving it action handlers. So like this, guys, you can make n number of tools. So right now, I have a medical diagnostician and treatment advisor. I can also create a nurse. I can also create, a virtual doctor. I can also create a receptionist. I can also create a specialist. Like this, I can create an entire system. And maybe I can just, create a hospital using just these things. Now, before, I just don't want to spend so much time on the presentation, but we will just quickly have a little bit of more patience. Just that each agent that I defined on the previous one has task. Okay, let me just use the color here. Okay, I'll just deny it. Okay, I hope you can see my thing. Okay, here it is. Okay, it's fine. I got the pointer. Okay. So with the task, guys, each agent that I created, I have to create a separate function, which is my task function. Now, what is the idea of the task function? The task function exactly defines what needs to be done. And it exactly talks about what is the desired output we want. Now here, this is what again I got from their website. So this one has a description. It has agent. It has expected output. These are the three things it has that you need to provide. So we just know what is the output. So output that we want in the previous one was a desired health plan. Okay. So the output was a desired health plan. Now description was what needs to be done. And these are the two things that we will define for each agent here. So let me show you the exact thing. Now, if you remember, we created two agents. One was a diagnostic agent and other was a treatment advisor, right? Now, each of these agents has a particular task. Okay, very good. Now let us try to break down how to do these tasks. So again, we need to describe the task, we need to have the expected output, and we also need to define which agent it is associated to. Okay. Now, remember the agent that we talked about is a diagnostician. That, it will take the symptom from the user, it will take the medical history from the user, and it will define the exact, it will exactly define the agent, and it will exactly give the output. So here on the screen, I now create a separate function, which is a diagnose task, and it is related to the agent diagnostician. Okay. Description is that how I want you to do the task. I will say analyze the patient symptom, okay, and medical history, okay, and then it is based on symptom and the medical history that I provided. After that, provide a preliminary diagnosis with possible condition based on the provided information. Then you can provide a preliminary history or a preliminary diagnosis. That is, in the beginning, you can have a lot of diagnosis. For example, I gave the example of a COVID, and the preliminary diagnosis will be, heart rate, heartbeat, headache, or maybe if it started seeing problem with the lungs, some kind of other symptoms, some cough or pain in the throat, provide all the preliminary symptoms, and then it goes in its medical history, whatever it knows, and gives me the answer. And then I tell him, limit the diagnosis to most likely condition. I don't want him to give me 100 possibilities. I just want him to give only top 3. So this is a description of the task that I want to give. See, guys, really, CrewAI and AutoGen and all these frameworks, they have really made it very, very easy so that anyone can easily deploy it. You don't need that kind of Python knowledge that I showed you last time. It is something that, you download these frameworks, you define a function called agent and the associated task with the agent. And now with the associated task, you can literally break down, your task into 3 things, how you want to achieve it. Now, we have a second agent in this. I only created 2 so that, it is very easy to understand. Remember, in the treatment one, what we wanted? We wanted that please provide me a treatment plan. So again, the agent, this task is a treatment task. It's a new function I'm creating. And this function is directly related to the treatment advisor. Okay. Now, what is in the description? So in the description, I want, please go and search the web for diagnosis and treatments using the provided tools. So once I have diagnosed it, so I know now I have the COVID. So this one provided that you have a COVID, and this is telling you the treatment task. And this treatment task is providing me the treatment that maybe, I need, this cough syrup, I need this medicine, and just go and use the search tool and the scrape tool based on the patient symptom and provide the diagnosis. And now this one, it analyzes the patient's medical history and current symptoms again, and it provides a step-by-step treatment plan. And what I want to provide the medication, lifestyle changes, and follow-up care. So guys, this is all you can customize, right? So ultimately, this is the task that I defined, that how I want agents to give me the task. And just as a reminder, okay, just as a reminder, this was the agents that I created. I gave the agent persona, I gave them the tools, and I gave them, this is how you have to reason. So I created a kind of a human being here, which has tools, which has a brain in which it can reason, and it has a persona. The entire kind of a human or a virtual human is created. Now to this virtual human, I am telling, so now it's kind of your employee. And to this employee, the employee I created by a function called agent. And if you just either take my presentation or thing, and this person now is ready to be told what to do. And now I'm telling the person what to do by tasks. And I'm giving it each one a particular way to do, as if you hire an employee and you tell him, hey, this is what you have to do. A single task can be done by multiple ways. Now, we want it to do it like this. I don't want it to go and read books. I don't want to go and contact other doctors. I just want it to do something which is based from its knowledge already. So this is a very important thing. Once you define agent, how you want it to achieve its goal, and that you give through task. I hope here the message is clear, because these are 2 very, very important functions that are must in CrewAI. Okay. Now, guys, you have a crew. Okay. And after you define agents, you define tasks, you want to kick off the entire process. So here on your screen, you see here, we created crew, and the crew consists of agents. Each agent has been told, or I just call them, virtual humans. And each virtual humans or your employee, it has been told a particular way to do the task. And now I am kicking off the entire procedure. I'm saying start working together. And then there is a separate function in the CrewAI is to create a crew. And that crew consists of agents and task, and then it consists of, this is verbose. It can be 0, 1, 2, or 3, depending upon what is the breakdown that to find a bug. I'll go there. So here, okay, this is very important. This function, which is you create a crew with agents and tasks. Okay, we have created the crew, guys. So we have agents. Okay, we created 2 agents here. We gave them the task, and now I'm just calling a third function, crew, which consists of agents and task, and I am just running this function. Now this is called a method is kickoff. Now what is happening here after I define this crew function? This is very, very interesting, guys. Now you have these agents or virtual humans. You have created it. You have hired them in your company. Now you want to tell them how you have to interact within themselves. It could be, either a sequential, as 2 classmates or 2 friends or 2 employees at a same level. So they execute tasks sequentially. Okay. And here, when you create this crew, and like I created the crew just now, I had my agents, I had my task, and I can say sequential process that, one agent, then second agent will take it from first agent, and then the third agent will take it from the second agent. So like this, it's a sequential process. Okay. Other process could be a hierarchical process. What could happen in the hierarchical process? In the hierarchical process, you can have a boss. So what happens in there? You have a boss, and that is a manager. So one of the agent will be a senior agent. And here in this example, I only took 2, but you can say the diagnosis one maybe is a senior guy, because he's the guy on which, entire thing depends. If he does a wrong diagnosis, then the person who is providing the task or the treatment plan, it can go wrong. So we have a hierarchical. Simply, you understand by the name itself, that means we ask them to not behave sequentially, but behave in the hierarchy. So it organizes all the tasks in the managerial hierarchy, that this will happen first, then this will happen. This task has to wait the task X, or X task has to wait for task Y, and we have a total hierarchy happening as it is in a company. Then we also have a planned procedure. It's neither hierarchical, neither sequential. It is some kind of, it's aimed for uh, more collaborative and decision making among agents. And this kind, it is introducing a more democratic approach. And this is something that you can create, everyone has its own democracy. And they say that it's planned. So that's why we only have 2. Um, that's what I saw in the manual, guys, that this one is a something that is coming in the future. The one is the sequential and hierarchical. So the sequential and the hierarchical is process.sequential, process.hierarchical, that we can use. And here is a kickoff one that we have here. So guys, once you have created the crew, okay, what did we all created? Again, a very small reminder here. We created agent, okay, virtual humans. We told them how to do the task. Then we created another function, a crew. And now I am kicking off this crew. And this is a kickoff, and this is a function which wants the input from the users, and we get the results. That means we have initiated the entire procedure. Very good. And guys, then the last one is the custom tools, which I will go later. So there are some times, a lot of tools which are not available within the CrewAI. You have to create your own. I can go and, give a very good example on that. Let us go now quickly to the code. Okay. Okay, guys. So this one, look here. I just installed CrewAI, and I also installed CrewAI tools. And we are using a lot of things from, LangChain community, and we have to install LangChain Grok. And I will explain you where we are exactly using them. Okay. So to do all these things, again, like last time, we are using Grok. So what is Grok? It's LLM on the cloud. So you go on the Grok cloud, it will give you an API key, and we got our API key. And here, basically, I'm using a LLM. I don't have ChatGPT right now connected. It's similar to that. I am using Llama 3.1, 7TB versatile, and I am creating a class. And why do I need a LangChain Grok? Because this is the Python library which imports this chat Grok. But in CrewAI itself, there was not much places that we exactly use LangChain. So this was just, from LangChain Grok, we imported chat Grok, and we just created a LLM, guys. Nothing else. We just created an instance for the LLM. Okay. So this is the LLM has been created, and your LLM is Grok Chat LLM. This is I did the instantiation of the Grok Chat LLM function. Okay. Now what happens? After I created this here is my LLM, and my LLM is now connected. To anyone who is a very beginner here, you also have a temperature and all these functions here. I'm not playing here much, but I have given a temperature 0, which is a generally we want it, that to be more realistic when it's 0, not to be extremely creative. You can play with it 0.2, 0.3, and the response would change. So this is only things I'm giving a model name and a temperature. Okay. And I have created my LLM. Okay. Guys, now after I created my LLM, let's go directly here. Basically, these are some kind of things. I'll come. This is to just download, but just come here. These are the 2 agents that I have defined. I have defined an agent with a diagnostician, as I told you. Other I have defined as a treatment advisor. And this is under the class agent. Okay. And I have provided the reasoning. Somewhere, in some cases it is compulsory, in some cases it is not. So I want it to tell me a step-by-step reasoning. And also, tell me when, after reasoning, which tools it uses. Now, in this one, I did not use reasoning. And I have here everything same, just that I have another thing as action handlers. Just that I'm ensuring that, my tools are linked to tool methods. All my action handlers, they are linked. So here I have created agents. Now, after I've created agents, I have created tasks. Same way. In the task, I'm just telling each agent what is the task that is needed for you. Okay. So it's the same thing. Diagnostician, I just tell him to, go on the patient symptom and medical history and tell me what condition it is. Then I am telling here is a treatment advisor. Now the treatment advisor is telling me here that, this is your treatment plan based on the diagnosis. Guys, any questions you have, you can pop in the chat. Okay. And then I'm launching my crew. If you remember it from the description, that you have to create a function of a crew. That means now you're actually creating your company. In your company, how many people you have? You have 2 people. One is your diagnostician, other is your treatment advisor. Okay. And then these are the 2 tasks that it has. Now, after that, these are something that I give. I can give it a different problem, as I talked about urinary tract infection. And this is the medical history, actually. And this is the body ache and cough. Now, guys, let's look here. I did the kickoff. That means now my system is working. And now these symptoms and medical history, now I want it to generate an entire plan. So when I kick it off, I don't want to run it now because it will run, but it will take time, 4 minutes or so. So that was something will be a little tricky online. But when I run it, let us see what it ran. So I have 2 agents. One was my medical diagnostician. And what does the medical diagnostician does? It analyzes the patient symptoms, body ache, and medical history. This was the task, right? That please analyze the patient symptom and provide a preliminary diagnosis. Okay. Now it is, so which agent is working now? Medical. Now it says thought. To analyze the patient symptom, I need to gather more information about the possible condition that could be causing these symptoms. So because I told him to work in a chain of thought and react prompting, so it is with the thought, it is going and analyzing patient symptom and medical history, and he says, I need to gather more information. I don't have enough information. Whatever I have been trained on, I don't have enough information. Then he says, I need to go and search the internet. So he goes and he searches the internet. And what is the action? So he goes and search internet, and he uses this tool called search query. Okay. Sorry guys, search query wasn't a tool. It's the search tool he uses. Okay. And now he goes on internet and he says here, see, all the things come with body ache and COVID-19. Okay. So 2 symptoms that we gave here was a body ache and cough. Now there will be something cold flu, COVID-19. Common flu, COVID-19. So it goes and look here, and then it just tells me this, I have gathered this possible conditions, and action is, but I need to narrow down the list because we wanted only 3 things. So he's now downing the list for you. And he says, this is here, body ache, COVID-19 symptoms or other causes, what to do. And he was confused. And then say, I have gathered more information that could be causing the uh, that would be causing the patient symptom. Okay. I have narrowed down the list. So remember, we gave it this instruction to the diagnostician, please go online if you do not find it yourself, and then narrow down everything for me. And now it narrowed down it for you. And here, this is finally, he gives me a lot of symptoms here. Okay, it just, go and open a report for me, which is more relevant. Okay. Okay, this is all good, all good. Now he's going again. He was not satisfied and he's just finding it again. He's narrow downing the list. Okay. He did a good job. Now he's a final answer here. He says that, okay, maybe there's a different COVID. He says the patient's symptom of body ache and cough, along with the medical history of COVID, suggests that the patient might be experiencing a COVID-19 infection. So maybe in his thing, a COVID and COVID-19 infection are the two other things. Symptoms of COVID-19 can range all these that it has. Okay. And a preliminary diagnosis is that it can have a COVID-19. Okay. He says that it's a, maybe according to his, it's a more advanced virus. It can have a flu. It can have some allergies, or it can have something RSV. So now, guys, okay, medical diagnostician has provided his preliminary diagnosis into these four things. And therefore, he says, now this is here my final answer. And now this answer, where it provides that, okay, you had COVID-19 I had COVID and I have a body ache. These are the possible conditions. Now, with this condition, all this message, it goes to the treatment advisor. Okay. So now the treatment advisor starts working. So guys, as you see here, the working agent is a treatment advisor. In the past, your working agent was medical diagnostician. Okay, very good. Okay, now here it just goes and it does its check, cross check. It is also going on the internet. So he said, based on the patient, along with the medical history of COVID, a personalized plan can be created. A patient can be experiencing COVID-19, or maybe then he gave you, remember, we have the medicine called Paxlovid, which was very famous. So answers are correct. Now, remdesivir is another one that we know that was very famous. So answers are correct. And he says, treat it here. Now it is giving you a recovery plan. It is also giving you the resources, and it is also telling you how to prevent it. And now it is finishing the chain. So here it only gave it for COVID-19. It did not give it for, other things that it also suggested that it can have flu or it can have other things. But ultimately, all these, when it is a light green, just I'm telling you for the attention purposes, it is the final answer. It is telling me the treatment option. It is telling me the recovery, resources, and preventing COVID-19. So guys, this is how a typical agent will work. It's a very, very simple example. And like this, you can create any organization and you can do it. I am open here if people have questions. Otherwise, I'll go here to the next code. Again, I think some people just joined, including Rashi. I see her now. So what we are doing here is, I am by CrewAI, I just told everyone that we create two functions. One is the agent function and other is the task function that is associated to each agent. And with these two functions, I can create one employee and delegate the task to that employee. And now I am creating another one is the assignment evaluation. So now I'm replacing bunch of, I am replacing teachers. I'm replacing, TA. And I'm applying that after a class happens. For example, if this is my class, I'm taking a class, you will give me the assignments and I want my team of agents to review the assignment. Now, again, the same thing, guys. I'm installing CrewAI, I'm installing CrewAI tools, and I'm installing LangChain Grok. Now, what happens here is these are all the libraries that I need. Again, I am calling my LLM from Chat Grok. So now, this is very, very interesting, guys. I'm creating a crew of agent to mark or to rate this assignment by a student. So what I am creating here is, first of all, I'm just creating assignment text and assignment submission. So this is someone who gave an essay on Africa. And I want my system of agents to rate it. So, okay, somebody is here submitting, one of the student is submitting essay about Africa. Now I am creating different agents. One agent is a clarity agent. And what does this clarity agent tells me? It is name is okay, clarity and concise grader. But the goal is to evaluate the clarity and conciseness of the assignment. So how much clear it is and how much concise it is, you have to evaluate it. And this clarity agent here, it also has a task. So guys, how many agents will I create? I will have to give the task to each agent. Now this is the task. Now in the task, I just tell that grade the clarity and conciseness from the scale 1 to 20. Okay. And then expected output is score. Just give me a score. I don't want any more explanation. I just need a score. Okay. Now the second is the tone and style grader. So one person will just tell me, just one person will just tell me about the clarity. Other one will tell me about the relevance, that whether this topic was based on Africa or not. Okay. So this is the clarity agent. This will just tell me, okay, how much relevant it is. And then I am just telling him the goal the same. Please evaluate the relevance of the assignment. And then I am giving the backstory that you have a very strong background in assessing. So this is kind of, it is trained or it's a backstory that I'm giving it. And I am giving it the same task to the relevance. So each agent has a task. So I'm just telling him grade the relevance and focus of the following assignment and now scale it from 1 to 30. Okay. So one is the clarity, other is the relevance. Okay. I'm not satisfied. It is going in a very big university. So I also want the accuracy. I want to see if it is says that Africa, it has all these animals, elephant, giraffe, how much accurate is the information? It says there are 1500 language spoken. How much accurate is this information? So guys, all these criteria are different. So how much accurate it is? So this is the accuracy grader. Okay. And I am asking it to give the accuracy a scale to 1 to 20. Okay, very good. And it gives me a score of the accuracy. So I have now 3 agents. One will tell me the clarity, how much clean it is, concise it is. I don't want too big. One will tell me whether it is from Africa or not. Other will tell me that, all the information of Africa is correct or not. Other will be the tone. So guys, tone is very, very important because, if assignment is coming from the university, so I want it to talk like a university student. And if it is coming from a class 5 grade, then it will be a different thing. So this is a very important thing for me, a tone and a style grader. So I want that, please tell me a score based on the tone. So it grade the tone and style. here. And after it gives the tone and the style, then I want it to tell me another last thing: clarity, relevance, accuracy, tone, and the last one is example and detailed. So I want it to use the example in my text. Okay. That people uses a lot of examples when they explain their essays. And I want it to, grade it based on that. So I just 1 in 10. So overall, guys, as I told in CrewAI, you will create agents here to rate this essay because it was a tool that we want to deploy in variety of universities, variety of schools and higher institutes. So we have given it 5 people to do the job. And these 5 people, here are their personas of these 5 people. And then here are their tasks. Okay, 5 tasks. Each task is associated to each agent. So when you give the task function, you just give the agent with which it is related to. Okay, very cool. Now what did I do? Very simple. I wanted the process to be sequential. I want all these agents to interact in a sequential way. Okay. Now this crew, I also define agent here and their task and the procedure. These are the 3 main easy function. And then you did a kickoff. Okay. Now see, the grade is 18 out of 20. So I asked ChatGPT actually to write a good essay. And if I go here, I will also ask ChatGPT to evaluate a bad essay. So just hold your patience if anyone is finding it is boring. So now the working agent is clarity. Okay. So now it is grading it 18 out of 20. So he says it is clear and concise. It has a good organization and it also tells you areas of improvement. Okay. And it gives you an answer 18 out of 20. Okay. So now he says, I have finished this thing. Clarity and conciseness grader. Now after the clarity and conciseness grader, another agent starts to work, that is a relevance and focus grader. Okay. What does this relevance and focus grader, that how much relevant it is? Out of 1 out of 30, it is giving me a very good answer actually. It is telling me that, what is the accuracy that it gave? It is scoring 28 out of 30. Very good. Everything is good because this was a good essay. Now the third one, it comes now, this agent gives a score. Now third is grading the accuracy. How much accuracy does it have? It has the accuracy from 1 to 20. Now with 1 to 20, here it is giving you the accuracy. And the answer is, for the accuracy, there should be an answer here somewhere. Final answer for the grader, 1 out of 20. It didn't give the answer. It might have given the answer. I might be missing it. Okay, somehow it did not. But this one, he gave the answer for the tone and style, 18 out of 20. I forgot, it did not give the accuracy. Maybe this one, it didn't work somehow. Okay, fine. And now after that, there was the last one that was left was example and detail grader. And here it gives the answer 8 out of 10. And now finally, our essay is perfectly graded in different way. And it is just giving me the answer. Now guys, here, this is another test case. So just check this English. I asked ChatGPT to give me a very bad grammar, very, very bad grammar. See, what is the grammar? Africa is a place of many wonders. it have deserts. It should be, it has jungles, animals, and many different peoples. So this is one case that I just showed you. That case actually told you about a good essay. Now let us see how does it evaluate a bad essay. And this bad essay, I intentionally asked ChatGPT to give an essay which has a very poor grammar. So just look, there is a lot of grammatical mistake. Now I want my system of agents to evaluate this answer. So again, it is the same thing. I created, the same thing, but now I'm asking it. So see here, the first one was the working agent, clarity and concise grader. It gave it only 10 out of 20 marks. Remember in the first one, it was giving everything as 18 out of 20. It says it's a bad, bad clarity. And it just tells some sentences are clunky, should be made more concise. It gives more suggestions for improvement. Other is a relevance and focus grader. He says only 20 out of 30. The answers were not relevant. Some of the answers were extra. Then the accuracy grader. It tells the answer is 18 out of 20. Maybe the information is from Africa, but very poorly written. Then is the accuracy score. Okay, it is giving accuracy score fine. That okay. Information is accurate. And then the tone and style grader. It doesn't give output here somehow. So finally, it gave 8 out of 10 for some things, and then then it gives you the entire answer. So this is how, it gives you a score. In something 8 out of 10, in something it gives you only 20 out of 30. And finally, we have this entire system graded. But still it is giving 8 out of 10 with all these answers and all these area of improvement. So my idea to provide this code is guys, just I was doing it very quickly here because we have to go to another topic as well. So the idea is how we can grade, an article or an essay using this CrewAI or is using this crew of employees. And again, the same idea, we create an agent function and we create a task function. Okay, now let's go to the other part of the presentation. Guys, you have questions, please feel free to write if you have. Okay, let's go to the last part of the presentation, which is about the agentic RAG. Okay, very quickly. Okay, guys. So what is agentic RAG? If anyone knows what is RAG here. So RAG is basically retrieval augmented generation. So why do we need RAG, first of all? See, guys, today I went on the chat GPT and I asked chat GPT, when did, that's my name, S. Agarwal from UTK, that's my previous employer, wrote her first paper. And it went online and it gave me a wrong answer. And then I asked it to try again. Then it gave me again, he says he could not find the exact date when S. Agarwal from the University of Tennessee wrote her first paper. So there are times when ChatGPT doesn't do a good job. You can call it is hallucinating because it is gave me the wrong answer, or you can say it was not well trained. Now, when you have scenarios like this, when your ChatGPT is not giving the relevant answer, but maybe I want ChatGPT to go inside my paper and give me, the text from my paper, to give me the answer from my paper. In all those cases, we do something called RAG. What does RAG do? So today we'll talk about an agent that will not have only tools, but it can also do RAG. That means it can also retrieve information from PDFs. So in RAG, what happens is user gave it a prompt, as I gave a prompt here, that, when did S. Agarwal from UTK wrote her first paper? Answers were all wrong. Then I want that please go and retrieve this answer from PDFs. Or go and search it from the PDF, because here ChatGPT did not have the answer. So I want to give it my all papers, and then I want it to tell me when did I publish my first paper. So user, the prompt that I write, but now LLM won't give me the answer correctly, directly, but instead it goes inside my PDF. It searches inside my PDF and fetches the data. So it prompt goes inside, fetches the data, and now prompt plus context, it goes into LLM. And now finally I have the answer. So that means, in short, what I did was, at the back, if I go in the settings, I provided it my PDFs. And now this is something I want to do it at the coding level. I'm not doing it at the ChatGPT level, but the concept is same. That why do we need to do RAG? We need to do RAG because we need sometime an external source of information to do, to get into the LLM, which LLM doesn't have, and to provide us the answer. So this is called retrieval. Okay, so we are doing this today with our agents. Okay, see guys, now this is the entire system. So again, you can create. Now this is a company that basically does RAG using CrewAI. So when you do RAG, each employee should have its own function. So one employee, it has a task of a router. That means whenever a question comes, and if it goes here and it just understand it, that whether I have to go on internet or whether I have to go on, uh, on the PDF. Sorry, this is a PDF, this is the internet, to find the relevant answer. And this guy, it just routes it. So it just comes here, there's a router tool that will just route it either to the PDF or to the internet. This is Stevely AI, here I'm using it for internet. Now, after it has routed it, now it starts to retrieve. So this guy, it retrieves the information. And after, there is one other person, that is your grader, which just tells you whether the retriever task, whatever retriever information it has given you, it is correct or not. So for example, here, this was the retriever, but it went on internet, that when did, she published his paper, and this answer was wrong. So this guy, it just gives it a grading. And then there is one more grader that we have provided, is a hallucination grader task. So it just tells that, okay, first one tells me that it is correct or not. It just gives me a more or less yes or no answer. Now this one, hallucination grader, it tells me that whether my answers are hallucinated or not, within going deeply into that answer. And then I have the answer grader task. So guys, combination of all these agents, they just tell me if I have my correct answer or not. And this entire system, you can develop it under CrewAI. it looks big, but here I have created 5 agents, and each agent, of course, it has a task. So here are my agents, and here are the tasks, but whatever I am doing it through the task. So task is the main function there, and the function has the personality of an agent. So that is why everything here is connected to the task. So you have one is the router. So one router will just simply, route it to your internet or your PDF. Other is, retrieving the text from the PDF or from the internet. Other is just telling that, if this is yes or no, then it will do hallucination test, and then it will give you the final answer. See, when you think about it, how will you do this system? But when you break down into these sub tasks and sub agent, then your life kind of become easy. You can think, okay, it is possible. Okay, so again, I have created this agentic RAG. I have used all these 5 different agents, and that they have doing the different tasks. Okay, and I have created this with using CrewAI, using Grok Llama 3.1 and CrewAI's PDF search tool. Okay, and this is we all know, I have already defined it, so this is a kind of repetition that what is the function of each agent. Now when you look at the code should not be very difficult. We know agent has only 2 things or 3 things. One is you give it a persona. So we are giving it a persona. Persona has role, goal, and backstory. So it just says your role is to route. Your role is to route user question to vector store or web search. And then it says delegation means that do you allow this task to delegate to your next agent? I said no, I want you to delegate it because I want each one to do a separate job. After the router agent, this is my retriever agent. Now, what is the retriever agent? What I want is use the information retrieved from the vector store to answer the question. So whatever information you have retrieved, either from the vector or your web search, please use it to answer the question. So he says that you are an assistant for question answering task. And you have to provide the answer present in the retrieved context. And then you have the answer grader. What happens in the answer grader? In the answer grader, you are a grader assessing relevance of the retrieved document, that whether it is yes or no. So that means idea is to filter out the wrong retrievals. If you have a wrong retrieval, it will just say no, this is not a correct retrieval. And then one is the hallucination agent. So he said filter out the hallucination. So one will tell you that this retrieval is wrong. Other will tell you that this document is hallucinating. And the last one is it will, answer grader. Goal is filter out hallucination from the answer. So this looks like a similar thing, but it is basically giving you the answer. Okay, guys, this is good. Now these are the tasks that we give to the 5 people. So as I told you, here router task will be, so what will router do is it will analyze how they will do these tasks. This is a little bit important. So the task here, the router, it will analyze the keyword in the question of the user, and we'll do it now. And after it analyzes the keyword in the question, then it will start giving the output that whether there was a keyword in the question, and it will go on the web search or the vector store. I will go more detail when I do the code. In the retriever task as well, it will, based on the response from the router, it will retrieve information. And then you have a grader, and then you have a hallucination. So let us now go to the code and quickly see how do they work. Okay. Let us see, guys, here. Okay. Again, I'm installing all my codes here. I'm installing CrewAI. I'm installing, LangChain, Grok, and everything. Typical codes that I have used. Here I'm using something called Tevili API key, which is, similar to your Serper API key, which will go on internet and try to find the relevant document. Now here I will invoke your chat Grok model. Same thing, guys. I've been doing it in all my codes today. Then I will invoke it. Now, what will I do? Here, guys, I provided it. So I need to provide it as some kind of PDF support. So recently we published a paper and I provided that paper to this code here. So if you go here, um, this was one of the papers that we just have, which we just submitted here. And we provided this paper to the code. Now, this is here, we said, okay, go here and we provide this paper to you. Only one paper we provided. And this paper was on, some kind of PDF parsers. So PDF parser, anyone who is into LLM, they know what does parsing mean. That means you can take information and parse the PDFs. And we use the same paper inside here, okay? We simply uploaded it in our code as you see here. And after uploading it, we are trying to generate the embeddings because any PDF that you will give, it will try to, chunk it, and after chunking it, it will store it in the some kind of vector database. So here we are giving it all the configuration of the LLM that, I have been talking about this, that you can use, here we are using the Grok. We are using this model. Temperature here, we have given it 0.5 just to play. And this is the embedder. What happens in the embedder is that we have in the embedder, this takes the chunks and convert it into the embeddings. And all the embeddings are stored here in your, DB. Okay, this is good. So we have all our data that is from your PDFs. It's converted into vector DB and stored there. Okay. Now, I created a tool called RAG tool. So RAG tool that I just created, it basically uses LLM and converts all the text that you have into embeddings. And now you are running this tool, ragtool.run. So what are the PDF parsers used? So the PDF parsers, now I give the question and it just tell me here, because this is coming from the PDFs. So this is coming from the PDF. So it just tells me, it is just picking out the relevant content from the PDF out, which is fine. So guys, this is something I am initializing my system. I have a PDF. That PDF is now chunked and stored in this vector database, and I am running it. Now start your initial thing. Now, what happens here? I'm just defining some of the tools, which is fine. I'm just using some tools because I want to have a search tool on internet. Okay, this is my search tool on the internet, nothing else. It's something very, very similar to DuckDuckGo and Google Search API. I have a Tavili search. Now here, what happens is from CrewAI tools import tool. Now I'm importing my tool. Now, if you see here, the router tool, what it is doing. So this paper, it consists of, words like scientific document, PDF parsers, and everything. So I say, if my question contains this word scientific document. So guys, this PDF that I have, it contains word like scientific documents. It contains words like PDF parsers. It contains words like, mm, accuracies. It contains words like blue, things like that. And I know because it was my paper. So these are the words it contains. So I say, if this is the word in the user query, go to the vector store. And vector store definitely consists of the vector database coming from the PDF. Else go to web search. Okay, very good. Now I am creating my router agent. Now what happens in the router agent? I just say here, okay, you are router agent. You use user question, either route it to a vector store or route it to the internet. This is what I'm trying to do. Okay. And now I have it here. And now we'll go to the retriever agent. And I just tell you, you are an expert routing, you are expert at routing. Okay, very good. I just tell you a backstory that either you have to go to vector store or either you have to go to the internet. Just go with the keyword. If you find the keyword is in the question, go to the vector store. And the keywords that I can provide is all these keywords. If this is in the question, go to vector search, otherwise go to web search. Okay. Now this is one class, is the agent class I have defined. Another is a retriever agent that we know that I have defined here. The retriever agent, it will use the information and retrieve from the vector store. Okay. Now grader agent, it will, just filter out the bad retrievals. Hallucination agent, it will filter out the hallucination. Answer grader, basically it will filter out the hallucination or will give you the correct answer. Now these are the tasks, how the router is supposed to work. So router will simply analyze the, will simply go and analyze the keyword in the question. So now let us see how does it happen in reality. So I gave it a question. This was the user question. Which city is the largest city in the North America? Neither this question, it does not involve any of these questions. It does not involve any of the keywords here. Neither it involves scientific documents, PDF parser, accuracy is blue. So it would not go to this PDF which I uploaded. Instead, it will go and working agent is a router. What it will do? It will analyze the keywords in the question, which city is largest in North America. And based on the keywords, it will go either for the vector store search or the web search. So now, okay, it is analyzing it and I already told you the answer. I told you that question, which is the largest city in the North America, it goes and does the web search. So look at the purple text here. So he says, which city is the largest in North America? It does not contain any keywords. So I am going and doing the web search. Okay. So what I did was, now I gave him another question here. It is answering the question, guys. Just bear with me. Yeah, here. I gave him the question, what is the PDF parser for the document? These are the different test cases. Now it goes, that PDF parser, so router, it goes and matches the keyword that I provided. It has the word PDF, and now it goes and give me the answer as that I am going to the vector store. So that means I was successfully able to send my router either to the vector store or to the web search, depending upon the question I gave. So ideally, it just goes and matches the keyword, and that is how my router is working. If it is a little advanced, guys, we need a little bit knowledge about the vector DB and web search. I hope this is not too complicated here. So this is what is happening here. So our working agent has started routing. It says, so now let me just go and finish this analysis here. I created a RAG crew, and my RAG crew consists of all these 5 people here. Here I just have 4 for some reason. And then I am just telling which city is the largest in North America. Now, it says it's a web search, so it is going on internet. After router has finished the internet, now it just went on to the second agent here. Hold on, guys. Let me show you a good example here. Sorry. The one that in the beginning was a correct example, where I give him the largest city. I tried many examples today before the class. Okay, this one is here. Okay, yeah. So we kick off the system. It went to the web search. It is also doing all the thought action thing. It is just telling, here I'm using a router tool, which is the largest city. Then it's going into search type. Now it is going in the web search. Fine. After the web search, it gives many, it goes under, again, it just say the question, which is the largest city in America, does not contain any keyword related to RAG. Okay. I tried reusing, I must stop this action input. I'll try something else instead. Then again, it says thought, it does not contain. It does many iterations here. I'll try something else instead. I continues doing it. And after a word, it says, I now know the final answer. So it just goes and give the final answer, whatever it knew to our retriever agent. A retriever agent, based on the response from the router, which city is the largest in the America, it just goes, and in case the router task output is web search, then use the search tool to retrieve information from the web. So router, it just tells you that go to the web search. Now retriever used the search tool because router told it to do the web search. It goes and retrieve the information from the web. Okay. It goes and it retrieves the information from the web. So it goes and it uses the Tevili search results here. And the router task, now again, there are multiple iterations here. Multiple iterations. Now he knows the final answer. The question was, which is the largest city in the North America? And answer here is the Mexico City. Okay. Now after the retriever has happened, we went to the answer grader. So he says, based on the response from the retriever task, which city is the largest, evaluate whether the retrieved content is relevant to the question. We just want yes or no from the answer grader, that it is relevant or not. Maybe, it would have just told you, okay, Mexico City which city is the largest in North America? Maybe it just told you India. India is not even the city. So it just want an answer here. That is your answer grader. And it just said yes. After that answer grader, we went to the hallucination grader. We want to eliminate the hallucination. he says, based on the response from the grader task for the question, evaluate whether the answer is in ground or supported by the facts. He just went on internet and he says yes. Now we have the final is the answer grader. We say that based on the hallucination grader, evaluate whether the answer is useful to resolve the question. If the answer is yes, return a clear and concise answer. So basically, evaluate whether the answer is useful to resolve the question. So it is just finally, after hallucination, after it has removed the bad answers, hallucination is just saying that whether your answer is useful or not. And finally, this is the answer it provides. Mexico City is the largest in North America. So guys, here it is using the web search, which is internet. Now the same thing I provided, it can use your vector search. But the paper was slightly complicated because it was a paper that is coming from my research group. And so it's something, the content won't be very familiar to you guys, but the question we ask is, what is the PDF parser for the scientific document? So guys, there are a lot of tools available on the internet to extract information. So this was our paper and we said vector store. And after the vector store, it goes and, it tries to just do the same thing. Router agent sends the query to the vector store. Retriever agent say, based on the response from the router text extraction, in case the keyword matches, we want to use either web search, then use the search tool, or in case the router task is vector store, then use the RAG tool. So now it is using the RAG tool. Remember the tool that we created. And now this was the query and it takes the answer from this paper out. And if I go and show you this paper actually consists of this text. This paper actually, the comparative study of PDF parsing tool across diverse categories. If you see here, comparative tool, a comparative study of PDF parsing tool, and the paper was this, a comparative study of PDF parsing tools. So it has given me the text from the PDF. So this is my retriever agent, which is bringing a retriever from the PDF. And after that, I can now, after that, retriever agent has started working. And it has given here guys, answer grader. There would be a answer grader here. Answer grader is telling that it is yes. So what is answer grader is checking? Answer grader is just checking is whether the retrieved content is relevant to the question. And here, yes, retrieved question is relevant to the question. Retrieved answer is relevant to the question. It might have given, something else within the paper. There are a lot of things in the paper. It can just pull up anything. It's some citations, some wrong, but here this is just checking. Okay, it has given the correct answer. After it has given the correct answer, now it goes to the hallucination grader. And he says, in the hallucination grader, evaluate whether the answer is supported by the set of facts. And it goes inside and he said, yes, it is supported. And finally, it gives the answer Grobid. It gives the answer of the tool. That is good. But answer, yeah. So this is something that I need to check that if this is the right answer, but I know that this is one of the tool. So guys, this is how my 5 agents are working together to fetch, the data or fetch the data from the PDF to answer your questions. So like this, as I told you in my presentation that today I asked ChatGPT many questions, but if I give this support of documents, it should not, give me wrong answers. So guys, with this, I think I gave you an idea about how CrewAI works. I hope you enjoyed this workshop. I know it could be a little advanced, but agents, it's once you start doing it, thanks to these frameworks, it's not very difficult. You can get hang of it, and you can literally create a very strong systems. I can review some papers which I have been reviewing, and I can tell you that people have applied them in the medical, people have applied them in the uh, law, people have applied them in the hospitals, as I just showed you. So in education, so there are different applications that people have actually used them. With this, I think I'll end the workshop for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Yes. Any questions, guys? Anyone? I know today the session lasted long. We could have broken down this into 2 workshops, but then I thought, it would be interesting to also show RAG and RAG agent or agentic RAG. Okay, guys. Okay, there's something in the chat. How does the system decide which tool is selected? Okay. So Rashi is asking, how does the system decide? So Rashi, here, this is the tool, right? So if, for example, here I have a PDF, there could be more than one tool which are suitable for the job. Example, RAG and web search. Yes, so you can keep on creating, like here, you can just keep on creating, uh, you can create here elif. Then you can another create elif here. And, you can just, create, another tool here. Neither use vector store web search. Maybe it's a mathematical function. Then just return calculator, something like this, right? And maybe, if it's not even a calculator, maybe, you need something else. Then you can just create another function here. Maybe, you might be you might need some particular book. Okay, this will be PDF, but this thing I could just see, you can use, API, web search, vector store, or maybe a particular API to do something, you can use a particular API tool. Yes. Okay, what other questions you have? So we have to, if conditions, so we have to manually provide if conditions to help define a logic. Yes, always, always. So we are right now, actually, this is something, you're inside the tools right now, and I'm defining a kind of a router tool. And the router tool can be my own customized tool that I can, define. So I'll just get rid of this so that I might still it runs the code. Yeah. So each tool you can, customize. So this is there. More questions you have? Anyone? Rashi, you have more questions? Thank you. Okay, guys. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you for, it was a long session. Thank you for, being patient and, being with me till the end. I think some of them dropped out, which is fine. It was a long session. Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.